But I'ma tell you like this, when I saw that, I think T.I. fucking lying.
Tell me, it been 20 years, bro. It been 20 years. I figure if I wasn't built like that, it'll show by now. It been 20 years, bro. I done faced every challenge motherfucker that like to throw at me, man. You ain't seen me fold, you ain't seen me break down.
I gotta say something about this, bro. Dwayne Wade, you gone too fucking far, dog. That is a male. A 12-year-old. At 12, they don't even know what their next meal gonna be. They don't have it figured out yet. He might meet a woman, anything at 16 and fall in love with her. But his be gone. How you gon' like, bro, you going too far, dog. Don't cut his off, bro. Like, bro, for real. If he gonna be gay, let him be gay. But don't cut his off, bro.
Bro, the hip-hop scene just exploded with drama. And this one's filthy. It's the kind of scandal that feels ripped straight from a twisted movie script. T.I. is locked in a full-on war, and this time, it's not about fame. It's about blood. He's coming straight for Boosie in court after a leaked tape turned his son, King Harris, into the center of one of the dirtiest controversies the game's ever seen. This ain't just petty gossip. This is family, pride, and legacy on the line. The court papers spill everything, with T.I. accusing Boosie and some mysterious industry hitters of setting King up and dropping footage that was never supposed to go public. For T.I., this wasn't a regular privacy breach. It was a straight-up ambush meant to humiliate his son and crush the Harris name forever. Cameras caught Tip outside the courthouse shaking, voice cracking as he spoke from the heart. This isn't just about my son. This is my blood, my honor, my life. Whoever set us up will not walk away free. That raw emotion had the internet frozen. Within hours, the clip went viral. Millions reposted it, saying they'd never seen T.I. so vulnerable yet so fierce. The whole rap community got split in half screaming, "Justice for King," while others whispered that it might be all part of a bigger play. But under all that noise, one thing stood tall. This wasn't just family drama anymore. This was a battle for legacy, image, and survival. And when those extra clips started dropping online, the world realized quick. The truth was uglier and way too real. King Harris got caught on camera, and things went from bad to downright explosive. What made it worse? Boosie's own son was allegedly tangled up in the same mess. The second that news hit, social media lost its mind. Hashtags like #JusticeForKing and #ExposedBoo lit up every feed, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Within hours, timelines were flooded with wild takes, shocking memes, and endless screenshots being picked apart like crime scene evidence. What started as messy gossip instantly turned into a cultural earthquake. King's image got wrecked, and the entire Harris family name started shaking. Fans were divided. Some screaming this was sabotage aimed right at T.I.'s legacy, while others whispered about a deeper, darker setup. Talk of an industry conspiracy started bubbling, powerful figures in the background pulling strings, using King like a pawn in a billion-dollar game. Imagine that. A young man trying to make his mark, suddenly trapped in a web spun by people way above his pay grade.
Well, I mean, of course I spoke with my son. You know, me and his uncles. You know, we were perplexed by his necessity to go back and forth with the short order cook. I didn't understand why he felt he needed to stop what he was doing to engage someone who was at such another level of life. And I had to explain to him that, you know, when people are not living the way they hope they would live, and here you is walking in with so much freedom and luxury, and you know, people gonna posture themselves a certain way. So therefore, you're gonna have to enjoy your life. You're gonna have to remove yourself from that energy and go enjoy your life.
Insiders claimed this wasn't just one video. There were more. Rumors of entire folders full of footage sitting on hard drives, just waiting to drop, waiting to destroy. Anonymous accounts popped up out of nowhere, blasting clips within minutes, making sure King's humiliation couldn't be contained. The whispers got nastier, talk of labels paying to push the scandal, hidden agendas, and powerful names moving in silence while King's reputation burned online. Sources close to the Harris family said the fallout broke him down completely. King couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every scroll on his phone was another stab in the back. It wasn't just embarrassment. It was digital imprisonment. The internet turned his pain into entertainment, and there was no escaping it. Meanwhile, Boosie fired back hard, calling the lawsuit lies, swearing the footage was fake, manipulated just to stir up chaos. But even with all that noise, fans weren't buying it. The shaky tone in his response, the odd silence before he spoke, and that sudden rush of burner accounts, it all felt way too calculated. And then came the darkest twist. T.I dropped the bomb that Boosie's own son might have been pulled into this setup. Allegedly coached and used as bait in a plan meant to take King down for good. The streets couldn't believe it. Betrayal that deep doesn't just break families. It
With the T.I situation, if he did that, you're a fucking rat too. I don't spare no motherfucking body. Because if you doing anything wrong, you doing anything criminal-wise, and you cooperate with law enforcement to get you out of trouble, that means you're cooperating, that means you're a rat.
Matters trust forever. If this turns out to be true, we're not talking beef anymore. This is straight-up psychological warfare. Two powerful families going at it, turning their own kids into pawns in a battle where nobody wins. The stakes couldn't be higher. This wasn't just T.I suing another rapper. This was a full-blown dynasty war. A father doing everything in his power to keep his son's name from being permanently crushed in front of the whole world. And with the courtroom getting hotter by the day and whispers of even more footage hidden in the vault, fans started asking, is this just the start of an even bigger takedown? Then, boom, the storm got darker. Just when everyone thought the drama might fade, the tape detonated online like a digital explosion. Overnight, King Harris became the face of humiliation, his name trending for all the wrong reasons. Social media feeds couldn't keep up. Hashtags, memes, debates, breakdowns. It was chaos. People dissected every frame like detectives, arguing if it was real, edited, or totally fake. But here's the sad part. The truth didn't even matter anymore. Once that clip hit the internet, the damage was done. Permanent. King's name got dragged through the mud, his reputation shredded before he even had a chance to shape it. Supporters cried foul, swearing this was a setup, a calculated move to crush T.Y's bloodline and legacy. Meanwhile, the trolls came out laughing, turning one of his darkest moments into viral content for clout. Then King finally spoke, and his words hit like lightning. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't some random leak. Somebody did this to hurt me. That confession hit the culture hard. Suddenly, this wasn't just a scandal. It was a tragedy unfolding live. A young man trying to hold on to his dignity while the world turned his pain into entertainment. Boosie, of course, jumped on live yelling, "Y'all crazy if you think I leaked anything," trying to sound calm. But the internet wasn't convinced. The long history of tension between him and T.I, the weird silence before his rant, the suspicious timing, it all made him look guilty in the public eye. King's legal team wasted no time striking back, filing a massive lawsuit claiming defamation, invasion of privacy, and emotional distress. The court documents painted a heartbreaking picture: deep scars, sleepless nights, and a family fighting to protect their last bit of peace in a storm that just wouldn't quit. The scandal didn't just leave a mark, it ripped through the Harris household like a hurricane. Sleepless nights, panic attacks, and shattered trust tore the family apart. T.I and Tiny were devastated, watching their son's life collapse under the weight of public humiliation. Every headline felt like a punch to the chest. Social media made it 10 times worse. Memes, jokes, and remixes turned King's pain into a circus for clout. There was no escape. Every text, every call, every look from strangers reminded King that the world wasn't laughing with him. They were laughing at him. For a kid raised in the spotlight, This wasn't just embarrassment, it was heartbreak in high definition. Insiders described him as broken, betrayed, stripped of dignity, stuck in a nightmare that wouldn't end. His confidence vanished, replaced by paranoia and silence. Meanwhile, Boosie was out here doubling down in interviews, acting like he was the victim. He claimed the Harris family was lying, trying to ruin his name, but every word he said just made the flames burn higher. His denials came off shaky, like someone adding gasoline to a fire they secretly started. Fans weren't buying it. They wanted receipts, proof, something to show he wasn't behind the mess. That's when the real whispers began, and they got dark fast. People started talking about money, revenge, and secret industry plays. Some said Boosie was still salty over an old feud with T.I, while others swore this was way bigger than a personal beef. Industry insiders whispered about power players behind the scenes. Movers who wanted King's rise stopped cold before it even started. And what better way to destroy a young star than a public scandal so big it couldn't be ignored? The courtroom told the whole story. Pure tension from wall to wall. Cameras flashing, reporters yelling, fans waiting for every move. King walked in with his head down, surrounded by family, while his legal team painted a picture of a young man crushed under fame's ugliest side. Witnesses described how it all broke him. The paranoia, the shaking hands, the sleepless nights after that footage spread like wildfire. One family friend said it best in testimony. He stopped being King Harris. He became a shadow of himself. The whole room went silent after that. This wasn't just celebrity gossip anymore. This was a story about the destruction of a soul under the blinding light of fame. The internet showed no mercy. It was brutal. For every person defending King, there were thousands more tearing him apart. His pain became entertainment. His tears turned into GIFs, his voice chopped into TikTok edits, his breakdown turned into a joke for strangers to laugh at. Fame, once his golden ticket, had flipped into a weapon slicing him from every angle. Behind the scenes, T.I and Tiny were fighting like crazy to protect him, but insiders said King was falling deeper into isolation, shutting off his phone, ducking the spotlight, and pushing away everyone who cared. That dream of stepping out of his father's shadow, gone, replaced by heartbreak, paranoia, and betrayal. And the betrayal, that's what stung the most. Because if Boosie really played a part in this, it wasn't just business. It was personal. This was someone King once laughed with, trusted enough to hang around, maybe even called a friend. And that same person might have been part of the setup that broke him. It felt like something out of a Shakespeare tragedy, a modern story of friendship, loyalty, and ultimate betrayal playing out live for the entire world to witness. Rumors started flying that more tapes were out there, locked up and waiting to drop, and every new whisper hit King like another dagger to the heart. He couldn't escape it. Every notification felt like another reminder that his life wasn't his anymore. What the public treated as drama was, for him, a slow-motion collapse. Trust gone, innocence stolen, hope slipping away. By now, this wasn't just scandal. It was tragedy in real time. A young man being stripped of his peace while millions watched. The trial turned into a battlefield. Loyalty, reputation, and truth all colliding under blinding camera flashes. When King walked into that courtroom, you could feel the tension. The silence was heavy. Reporters whispering, flashbulbs popping. It didn't even feel like a trial anymore. It felt like a public execution of his character. By that point, the leaked tape wasn't just a scandal. It had become a symbol of betrayal, humiliation, and destruction, and everybody wanted answers. Did Boosie really mastermind this setup? Or was he just another piece in a bigger game with unseen power players pulling strings behind the scenes? Then came the bombshell. Shocking evidence revealed encrypted files traced back to devices allegedly tied to Boosie's own circle. The courtroom gasped, the internet froze, and just like that, the story went from speculation to full-blown chaos. Suddenly, Boosie's denial started sounding weak, forced even. His interviews felt like desperate attempts to rewrite history while the walls closed in. Journalists were typing like mad, fans were gasping online, and even the courtroom itself seemed to freeze under the weight of what might really be true, that someone King once trusted had weaponized his downfall. T.I and Tiny sat just feet away, watching it all unravel, and it was unbearable. Cameras caught them breaking down, holding each other tight as their son's nightmare played out live for the world to see. This wasn't about a lawsuit anymore. It was about survival. Their child wasn't just being judged, he was being destroyed in real time. And the people accused of doing it? They sat across the aisle, calm, emotionless, like they hadn't just shattered a family's entire world. Then came the moment that broke everyone. King stood up and finally spoke. Voice shaking, eyes glassy, he faced the court and the cameras and said, "Y'all turned me into a joke, into a meme. But I'm not laughing. This ruined me. I don't even know who I am anymore." His words sliced through the chaos like a knife. For a moment, even his harshest critics went silent. That raw, trembling confession reminded everyone, this wasn't celebrity gossip. This was a real person's pain being turned into a public spectacle. But the internet didn't care. Within hours, his words were chopped up into memes and TikToks, his tears looped into viral clips, his pain turned into punchlines for strangers chasing likes. Every sob became content. Proof that in the digital age, pain never fades. It's permanent, replayed forever, archived like a scar that never heals. Insiders close to the family said King had shut down completely. He wasn't answering calls, wasn't leaving the house, wasn't even talking to friends. Cameras terrified him now. Every lens felt like another weapon aimed at his dignity. Even inside his own home, the humiliation followed him like a shadow he couldn't shake. His future, once full of promise, now looked like an endless loop of betrayal, fear, and heartbreak. And those whispers about more tapes coming? They pushed him closer to the edge every day. The thought of more leaks dropping out of nowhere was crushing. At this point, it wasn't about clout, beef, or music anymore. This was a young man's spirit breaking under the weight of fame's cruelest reality. It was pure destruction, and the whole world was tuned in like it was some twisted live show. Boosie's camp tried flipping the script, calling him a scapegoat in a bigger conspiracy, but the streets weren't buying that story for a second. To fans, he wasn't a victim. He was the villain in a real-life tragedy. Every interview, every post, every attempt to clear his name only poured more fuel on the fire. The internet showed no mercy. Timelines filled with hate, memes, and endless debates. The culture turned cold, unforgiving, ready to chew anyone up who crossed the line. And soon, it wasn't just King Harris on trial anymore. It was the entire industry. The way people feed off pain, turn humiliation into profit, and make someone's heartbreak a trending topic, it all got exposed in real time. Expert witnesses even stepped in, explaining how what happened to King could cause lifelong damage, trauma, anxiety, depression, even PTSD. This wasn't some temporary scandal to move past. It was a permanent wound carved deep by betrayal. And even if Boosie faced consequences, the truth still cut deep. No courtroom ruling could erase what millions had already seen. Money can't buy back innocence once it's gone, and no verdict can undo the stain left on his name. That's the haunting part. This leak wasn't just gossip. It was a weapon built to strip King of trust, dignity, and peace. Fame didn't shield him. It exposed him. Now King Harris stands as living proof that in this industry, your pain becomes somebody else's paycheck, and your downfall becomes someone else's headline. Even if he wins the case, can he ever truly win back the dignity that was stolen from him? That's the question echoing across the culture. T.I himself said it best, tears in his eyes outside the courthouse. "This isn't just my son. This is my blood, my legacy, and I won't let them bury him alive." Those words hit everyone straight in the chest. Because this story, it's not just about gossip anymore. It's about a father's fight to protect his child in a world obsessed with watching people crash and burn. So now the question stands. Will the truth ever set King free, or did the setup already destroy him for good? Because sometimes the cruelest part of fame isn't chasing it, it's surviving it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below if you want more deep dives into the real stories shaking up hip-hop right now.